I told you before that Iddrisu Haruna, the Minister for Education, and Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who is an Otechere, are fighting. They are fighting gidi, 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 gidi. And I'm going to tell you why they are fighting tonight. So what has happened is that, first, for you to believe me that they are fighting, I need to show you two videos. Now, the first video I'm going to show you is Iddrisu Haruna here, speaking at Mauli Secondary School for their, I think it was their 75th anniversary, Mauli 75. And he said that you cannot keep your hair and come to school, and you remember that sparked off all the whether to keep the hair or not to keep the hair. The foreign minister, Okudzeto Ablakwa, goes to his former school, having been invited as the guest speaker, which for this year at Exp0sed was quite different from the special guest of honor. So there was a special guest of honor, and then there was a guest speaker, which was him. He is part of the government of Haruna Iddrisu. He didn't have to say that, he didn't have to contradict the education minister. He didn't need to. In fact, it was wrong for him to. If I'm chief of staff, he's the one I'm going to punish, because the one minister spoke first about it. Even if that's not the government position, another minister should not go public against it. So our great friend from Otechere may be wrong in this regard, because Iddrisu Haruna spoke first, and he is the sector minister. He controls education. And he spoke and said that your haircut, it won't work. I'm not interested. Go and cut your hair. Shut up over there. That's what he said. And what he said typically will represent the government's position. Then weeks down the line, Ablakwa comes to say the opposite. And in doing so, he talks down on the people who are thinking that hair is important. First, let's see Haruna Iddrisu.
There is an ongoing debate in social media about haircuts and size and length of hair in secondary schools. We will not tolerate it today, we will not tolerate it tomorrow, and so long as we are molding character. If we give in to hair today, tomorrow it will be shoes, and the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GES, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses. So anybody who thinks that your child will walk into any institution of learning as if that child, forgive my words, was to attend a beauty contest, the school environment is not for that purpose and not cut for that purpose, and would not tolerate that as an institution.
That was the Minister for Education speaking at Mauli Secondary School 75th anniversary. To all intents and purposes, the Minister for Education, Iddrisu Haruna, was actually communicating the government position on the matter. To all intents and purposes, that's how it will appear, isn't it? He was communicating the government position on the matter. But then comes Okudzeto Ablakwa last Saturday at the Otechere event. Come along and join us. Let's show it. What did Ablakwa say?
Instead of focusing on how strict religious doctrines are being enforced in our schools and the weird correlation between short hair and disciplined students, it is time to ponder over the real issues. Why is our educational system producing graduates who criminally create thousands of ghosts to fleece the state when real human beings are looking for jobs? Why is our educational system producing graduates who will destroy our environment, pollute our river bodies, and create a public health crisis for the rest of us just to advance their greedy galamsey search for gold? Why is our educational system producing graduates who lack ethical leadership? Why is our educational system producing graduates who commit Ghana to unconscionable transactions? Why is our educational system producing plutocratic graduates who want so much for themselves and don't care about the country they lead and the generations coming after them? To me, with all due respect, these are the weightier matters.
So the Minister for Foreign Affairs in his government is telling the education minister that, Chief, That's your ridiculous analysis of short hair and it has a correlation with discipline. I don't even understand it. That's not what you should be focusing on. Focus on why people come from the university that we are training them. They are doing this. You are a new minister for education. You have inherited a system. Check why the system produced those people and stop talking about things that are not important. That's the content analysis of the two videos. About 4 weeks apart. That's the content analysis. Ablakwa is fighting with Iddrisu Haruna. Iddrisu Haruna is fighting with Ablakwa. Ablakwa is fighting with him. My responsibility here, viewers, today is to show you that as a political news reporter, I know why. I know why they are fighting. So I'm going to take you through it. Stay with me. Don't go fast. Stay with me. I'm going to show you why they are fighting. It's for a very big price. They are not, Exp0sed, they are not fools. They are not fools. They are fighting for a very big price. And they won't be fighting if the price is not big. It's huge. You can see, Saki has put on the screen, the tussle for VIP in NDC. That's what they are fighting about. That is the fight. They both of them want to be the next vice president if the NDC were to win 2028. And both of them want to be vice president for the same presidential candidate. So this is the vice president, Professor Gyena Nopokwajiman. She has long had an excellent relationship with Ablakwa in the Mahama first term. Let me tell you how that relationship occurred. Before the Mahama first term, during the campaign, she was a debate host. She and Kojo Ponkroma were hosts of the IEA debate. Sammy Okudzeto Ablakwa was part of the team to prepare President John Dramani Mahama for the debate. So typically, between the IEA, the debate host, and the candidates people, they have some encounters. And it is there that I believe Ablakwa and Madam became quite tight. When the election was won, the vice president now revealed her NDC colors because when she was a debate host, she didn't show that she's NDC. Even though she had been a Radio Gold and many people thought that she was an Ato Ahoy protege. In fact, we made the point on social media, if you go, is there. When she was being chosen for the running mate position in 2020, that Ato Ahoy, who were represented by the word Church Street, because he had an important office in the Laboni street called Church Street. So that's how we call him in political parlance. When news reporters are talking, they talk of Church Street. They mean Ato Ahoy back in the day when some people also used to call him Don King and all of that. So when we are exchanging text, when they say Church Street says so and so, it means Ato Ahoy says so. So we put out a note that Church Street is pushing for Gyena Nopokwajiman to be the running mate of Professor Mills. I still remember who told me, but I won't say it today. Now, when she became running mate, before she became running mate, she was Minister for Education. When she was Minister for Education, Ablakwa was her deputy. So in the first Mahama term, they forged such a tight alliance as deputy and boss. Ablakwa was the more political deputy. She is the more technocratic vice chancellor of the university, blah, blah, blah. So they worked together excellently. Then Iddrisu Haruna at that time was working far away. He was working at communication. No, he was working at trade to labor, something like that. Communication was in the Mills administration. She wasn't a member of the Mills government, but Ablakwa was a member of the Mills government. So right now, Ablakwa has been a member of 3 executive governments: Mills, Mahama, and Mahama. 3 executive governments. So this vice president is close to Ablakwa. Now, vice president has come in the saddle. Perhaps you should have added Ofosu Ampofo's photograph for me. Vice president has come in the saddle. They won the election. She's vice president. Ofosu Ampofo hears that Johnson Asiedu Ketia is eternal, perennial nemesis in the NDC, is running for president. Ofosu Ampofo doesn't want that to happen. Okay, so he is saying that, but Madam is more competent than party chairman, so Madam should be. So Ofosu Ampofo is pushing the Madam agenda together with Alex Segbefia. Okudzeto Ablakwa here is responsible for gathering the Volta region onto the vice president. You see, Okudzeto Ablakwa, his work is get Volta region for the vice president. And Ofosu Ampofo's work is that anybody but Asiedu Nketia and first vice president is competent. Alex Segbefia is rooted onto that agenda as well. So this is what is happening. All right. Now, with this background, let's go and look at the history.
I did quite a bit through Munana a bon. To say a papa. The tenor was so. I tell him. Oh, papa, I say a yepa. You say, when I come.
Today by 7
to make him kind to.
Hey,
And I'm some kind Bible. And I'm seeing it. My Bible, dear, dream, some other was so that was it.
it is said, Obitifi, none and near for it is so. Who be or Exp0sed, the person I will catch her.
The Americans say one fast birthday into bed, the Quran. Now, about so far, play a while. Women in draft on room. Oh, no, I say, oh, no one drink. Nay, you man, or one. And what you so young, one.
Amen. It is said, oh, chair the Paminumias, a equi, there are some of a catcher and the Paminumias.
Oh, Michelle will be a sir. My conscience is said on your uncle border to see. We do one more turn, your horse, almost as of happy. What do you name?
Do you know?
Oh, pie. On shed and charge you say, go up on the echo, you say, or be more broke a crab in arm. One we are military, I will say, I dare never, dear, how be I be free.
You after 4 more hey. Emma, you buy my money was me.
Fine, said 3 weeks in when we took now to me and some way.
Now to me, sir, and Emma ever to agree, Conom yet. And then, Papa said, once and a day, oh dear Dancy, and to walk also to fear our near friend. A test so when you're glaucoma. Or shall dear womb. Black, what I saw, but I can say, baby, Tontonia. Who will do her? Also, person for appear now, yen, first also. To be out of the Baba, when I said, a redemption of this. Amen.